Welcome everybody to another episode of the Lunch Table Podcast. We are doing a review for the strangest movie that I've seen so far this year, Cocaine Bear. I'm fresh out of watching it. Akram, I know you just saw it recently too, so let's get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, man, let me just say this right off the bat. I think this movie was intentionally bad. I don't think that it was by accident. Later on in the spoiler-filled review, we'll talk more about that. But I was just like cringing so hard, so many moments in this.
It definitely wasn't intentionally good, I'll tell you that.
No, it's good if you're like on hard drugs and you watch this and you just want to have a good time. I don't know. But what are your thoughts?
They should have dropped this movie on Valentine's Day. This is the type of movie that you bring with your date so that you can actually make out in the theater, because nothing relevant happens when you're making out.
Exactly, man.
God, I don't know what these writers were. They must have been doing coke themselves when they were making this movie, because I mean, it's a popcorn flick. Like, let's get out the way, like you said. It's not a great film. It does have, some cutesy moments.
Mm-hmm.
It has a weird ensemble cast. Like, there was like some people in here like I didn't expect to see. I was like, holy shit. But yeah, what else did you think of it?
Yeah, so I mean, we have Ray Liotta. Unfortunately, he passed away. Keri Russell, I was surprised to see here. I mean, Alden
Ehrenreich.
Yeah, exactly. He's here, Han Solo. And which was cool too, we got Hannah Hoekstra, which is the face model for Aloy in Horizon Forbidden Dawn.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then of course, Christopher Hivju. I think that's how you say his name, and O'Shea Jackson. So the movie, I think it was very inconsistent in the beginning. I think there was a lot of jump cuts, right? And I think a lot of people coming into this, they'll feel very it just feels very jarring. And then the bear was pretty much shitty CGI. I think that's to be expected. It did feel like Elizabeth Banks type of direction. Even she did direct it, but Elizabeth Banks is like friends with James Gunn and like people like that, Judd Apatow. So it kind of felt like that. But I wonder if Judd Apatow like produced this. I wonder if it would have done better. I don't know. I felt like this should have been the same tone, kind of like Pineapple Express, to make it work. But it just felt too bargain bin,
For me, it's like a better quality. Like, you ever see like those sci-fi original movies, like with those monster movies? It was like a better budget kind of version of that. I was kind of confused as to whether it was leaning more towards a comedy or a horror flick. I mean, it has elements of both, but simultaneously I neither was scared nor laughed.
You were just like Homelander,
right? I was like,
that's how I felt.
The only reason I laughed at this is because of all our fucking jokes that we make,
our memes, like, our inside jokes. Yeah,
I kept thinking like, why didn't they get Caesar Milan to tame this bear? Now I see this behavior.
Exactly. That's who they should have got. I think that would have been hilarious.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the jokes didn't hit for me, and I think maybe it's because they promoted the trailer or the bear in the trailer so much that when I actually saw the bear, I wasn't really like, terrified.
That's a good point.
I like when like in certain horror films when they actually don't show the monster, as tropey as it is. I like when they actually like reveal it towards the end. I think they gave it away way too early.
I have a question for you. Do you think the reason why they did that was to make this movie iconic like Sharknado was?
Possibly. I mean, it's based on true events. So, I mean, take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, loosely.
Or a grain of Coke.
There you go.
I mean, it was kind of like a weird, like I guess, like, what if Yogi Bear turned like vicious or some shit? I don't know. I think it could have been pushed to a more like filmic quality, but it ended up being this weird kind of monstrosity of a film. I don't know what I'm saying, guys. It's a strange film. I don't know what to say.
But again, it might be the point. Maybe that is the point. Right now, it currently sits at 68% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's just a movie that you have to not take seriously and just watch it. I don't think it's for everybody. I think it's for maybe young teens and like people who's just screwed up in the head or something, and they really enjoyed this movie.
Oh, I was gonna ask you too. I've never seen a movie showcase kids actually like doing drugs. Like, I wanted to get your thoughts on that because that actually blew my mind.
That threw me off because I was like, oh, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. And then they like went fully in, and I was like, this might be controversial. But then again, it's like we had so many movies in the past, Slumdog Millionaire, Blood Diamond, like and then maybe you could take that as exploitative or whatever, or just showcase in reality. So I don't know. I know. We were kids once and we didn't do cocaine, but kids are messed up,
Right. I think it's just the transparency because like in those type of movies you were mentioning, like it's always alluded to, like you see like a joint on a table. So you think they did it. But here they just fucking go for it. They just like down and like eat it and shit. I was like,
I was shocked. Shit. I was like, oh my goodness. That shocks me now. I'm not so shocked by like kids dying or something like that in some movies. Back then it was taboo. Now it's like kind of normal,
free form.
I wonder if this will be the new normal, which kind of worries me too for the young actors. Like I hope they're not super impressionable too. I was just wondering about that. I was like, oh this might
I definitely
be
wouldn't I hate to say, like, for some movies, don't take your kids to see this, but this is definitely a movie where I definitely wouldn't recommend bringing young children or even, like, young teenagers, I would say, because it's very, like you said, they could be very impressionable.
Correct, yeah. It's like...
Yeah, what did you think of, like, some of the characters in this movie as well?
They were all right. They were funny. I think the Lady Margot, she was a funny park ranger. She was trying to get with this guy who has always that cheesy hair. Like every movie that's like this, there's always that one white dude that has like a helmet hair for some reason. They were okay. Keri Russell was kind of the lead alongside O'Shea Jackson, and they were all right too. I don't know. It wasn't like people who I really wanted to see make it through. I think Keri Russell and the kids were probably the only people that I wanted to see. I mean, Ray Liotta was cool here as well.
Oh yeah.
But he was like the typical type of asshole guy as well. So it's like
he always plays a gangster. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was funny because like they're very one note or two dimensional characters.
Yeah.
But at times I thought I was watching like a Tarantino film, like the way they set up the characters and how they kind of like cross over. Or like they have their own stories, kind of like, have you ever watched Stranger Things? Like they have like these groups of certain characters, and then they kind of like, culminate in the ending. I did like the cop though, that police commissioner guy.
I love that guy, Bob. Yeah, I really liked him a lot too. So do you have any other thoughts on the movie?
Look, it's a movie where you just turn your brain off, right? If you want a good weekend, go see this movie. I definitely think it probably has an audience. Maybe it'll, like you said, turn out like Sharknado, or maybe like it'll gather like a cult following one day.
Spin-offs or something.
Probably, I wouldn't doubt it. But as for me, like, and I think we both agree it was pretty forgettable. So if I had to rate this, I'd probably get a 4 out of 10, and that's being nice.
Yeah, I give it a 3 out of 10. They should have sent this straight to streaming, I feel.
Right.
Like
that's the thing. I was like, this felt like it should have been like, for like a streaming platform. I don't know why.
Yeah,
they thought it would. Yeah.
Put that on Prime, Netflix, whatever. It wasn't worth getting a ticket for it, to be honest. So
go get your money back, guys.
Yeah, yes, and go get your gram of cocaine back too if you were doing it in tandem with watching this. But Dylan, why don't you take us away?
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in for this review. You can watch our other reviews as well. We have plenty of content out this week and for the rest of the month as well. So thanks for joining us as always. And until then, thanks for having lunch with us.
See you guys.